Welcome aboard, passengers. Mega Sim here for another video. So this video today is the recap of last night's Q&A on the Cologne-Aachen route. And if I say it right, the Schnellfahrstrecke route. Now we are, funnily enough, on the Hauptstrecke route, getting aboard this 425. Funnily enough, you know, that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit today also. But yeah, before we start, just as a reminder, Trainsimulatordotcom 2 has been delayed to the 20th of August, so a couple of extra weeks to wait. Very good reason for that was to add more support to the preserved collection. It was a big bit of feedback that we all gave them, that we wanted to use all our collection, not just the new ones. So, just as a reminder, the preserved collection version 1, we will get the East Coastway, Brighton to Eastbourne and Seaford, which, remember, has the Class 377 and the Class 66. The Peninsula Corridor, which was the San Francisco to San Jose route, that will have all the cow trains that are available on there, the GP38, the passenger version, and why didn't I even check it, but apologies on that. Also, the Baby Bullet and the Diesel Switcher are added in there as well. And finally, the Hauptstrecke Rhein Ruhr, which we're on right now, that will be on the preserved collection, so we will be able to get the 425 and the 422 on Scenario Planner. I want to repeat that, Scenario Planner. We can swap the trains around. We'll go into a little bit more detail why. But yeah, so we have got the Schnellfahrstrecke route from Cologne to Aachen West. Sorry, Aachen West. Cologne in the east to Aachen in the west. Okay. So it doesn't go as far as going further back from Cologne, and you know, Aachen at the end, the West Yard is not on there, but we do have a bit of depot in the Aachen area where there is some limited use, where we can start and end the day there. But yeah, it's just going in and out. That's pretty much it, they've said. But there is a tutorial that does start in the depot, so we are looking forward to that, definitely. What year is it? Is it based on right now? Modern Era 2019-2020. They've chosen this route because they wanted to give them the ability to test the capabilities of what they could get out of Trainsimulatordotcom 2 with the route. The reason why is the Cologne-Aachen route is 50% at 250, 50% at 160 kilometers an hour. So quite a nice route. The ICE does go up to 330, but not on this route. But they were able to, you know, whack it up to full speed, and it works fine. So yeah, they didn't want to overstretch it, but it works beautifully. They said it is gorgeous running at that speed. But also, there's a nice variety, and we know, which we'll go into a sec, you know, we've got the S-Bar, the Regional Express freight on that real route, so we should be getting that soon, so adding more trains. But don't worry, Scenario Planner can be used to make this a really rich route, not just a high-speed train. So it's not just high speed, it's not just the ICE. But as we know, over the past year, they've been upgrading parts of the core engine, with their stuff on top to try and make sure that everything runs fast, everything runs better, the frame rate. Well, it's not just the frame rate, it's about getting the data off the disk. So getting that memory done when they're loading and unloading the data that it needs to cope. So we know that with the console there are issues. It's a bit icky. Sticky, icky, everything that ends in icky, tricky, where it doesn't always load and unload quick enough. So hopefully we're going to get a better thing on here. Now, it's not going to be worse, it's going to be slightly better. There will be slight improvements, but I think, as we know with the constraints of the console processors, we are still going to get a few issues with the frame rate slowdown and things like that. But they have optimized it. They have found that the materials that were loading and unloading were huge, so they're lowering that, making them a lot smaller, but still looking pretty good. But yeah, it is good. I am looking forward to going on this route. So what is available on the ICE? We know, well, I say we know, I don't know, there is the enormous glass window. Now, on some of these routes, like this 425 that we're on, there are blinds, but the ICE doesn't, but it has an opaque system with the glass where you press a button and it goes grey and goes out. But it is manual, it's not automatic. They were talking about neutral sections, which is actual dead zones where there are no overhead lines, wires, so it uses momentum. And on the IC, it automatically flicks on and off in real life, but not on Train Simulator 2. PZB, it's been improved. There's a load of new features on that, features and upgrades, but we've got LZB as well. So LZB, because you're going so fast, it looks 14 kilometers ahead. And you can actually see the cable down the track, they've said, and it actually takes that data from it, and coupled with the cruise control, the AFB, the RFB, it will actually drive itself, getting faster and slower all the way down the track, depending on what speeds are required, till you get to Düren, where it goes over to PZB. But it was highly demanded. We needed it. So thankfully they were able to do it. But as I said, improvements were made on PZB. AFB has been updated. Before it was slightly under, so if you went 90 kilometers, it would go like 87, 88. Because of East Coastway, where they did fix it on the Class 377, it is bang on. So that is good. Looking forward to that. They've also said that AFB will be mapped slightly differently, but that is for another Q&A where they will tell us more about the flexibility for us controller users on the console, plus on the PC as well. Motion blur, nope, not been dealt with yet. But they're trying to find a way to turn it off. You can on PC, you can't on console. That trick, that connection does not, that link doesn't work. So, locos, what is included? Well, we've got the BR406, the ICE, the Talent 2, as we know in the Deutsche Bahn Red, the 4-car version, not the 3-car, like in Rapid Transit, and preserved vehicles will be usable on these routes, but what we're trying to look at is, right, what will run on launch? So, with launch, you just get those 2 trains, plus the scenario planner, sort of thing as well. But, when main Spessartbahn eventually comes on board, remember, it is not listed yet, we will be able to get regional and freight services, the Dostos, the double-deckers, the freight trains, and when Rhein Ruhr Osten comes on board, we'll get additional freight and S-Bahn with the 422. So that's why it was in the trailer. So we were right. Forums were right. The Dosto was in the background. They said, amazing, you spotted that. And also it was a 422 or 425 that we were on in the trailer. And yes, it was planned. So remember that service mode, you will have those things start to come in, but at the moment, at launch, you won't. But we'll go into a couple more details on how many scenarios, how many timetable services later. But there are tweaks and things that will be needed. They're not sure if all trains from the German collection will be available on the German routes, but that's something that they will decide nearer the time when new DLCs are released. But it is pretty much a brand new model of the Talent 2, the 442. It has virtually been upgraded. Was 3 carriages, now 4. Completely new coach, 4-door coach has been added instead of just duplicating. High doors instead of low doors. And there's also these different types of door ramps. There's 2 different types depending on what station you're at. This train has it. So that's good. General improvements on the switches and the controls. PZB has been updated. Wheel slip for adhesion as well. Right train numbers. Undercarriage pistons are now animated when it tilts. And then we've got things like... what was the other thing? We had the destination screens. Now, what we'll do is we'll have a look at this. The destination screens for the 442 and the ICE are animated. So we know that East Coastway kind of brought that in a little bit more, and they've been able to do that. So the AI will show the correct destinations. Yes, we will have like where it's from and to, the Frankfurt. It does say, but that's, we only have the route that we've got. So yeah, they are going to do it for new versions of the line. They may retrofit it. It's no at the moment, but they could potentially in the future. Okay. But just as a reminder, guys, could it be on the Bakerloo line? No. There is no ticker thingy in the train, in the carriage. You may have seen trains like the Piccadilly line and the Jubilee line where it does have that, but the Bakerloo does not have that. So it literally is like a piece of paper, like the Class 101 kind of, kind of doing it to move the thing on the top at the front, but inside the train, no, it doesn't have it. So just a reminder, guys, on that. There is a sound change on the 442. Authentic sounds. It was artificial before. Yeah, we kind of guessed that. So yeah, we have that, which is quite cool. Hopefully the horn will be a lot better. So yeah, going back to scenarios and timetables. If we just looked at launch and that's all we had, there are 49 services. Looking at the January-February timetable, so that's pre-COVID. So the ICE runs once every couple of hours and the Talent once every hour. So real timetable, correct platform allocation, timings all come from the timetable. So there are 49 services, 5 scenarios, but this is where it gets a bit complicated. When MSB, when main spare start button comes in, 110 total services, with the RE1, with the freight, all of that stuff. And then when Rhein Ruhr Osten, minus MSB, there are 161 routes in total, because you get the freight with the 185.5 and the S-Bahn as well. So really good complex service patterns. Now I've got the MSB, so I'm fine when that comes out, but I don't have the Rhein Ruhr Osten. So I'll try and get that when it's reduced, of course. But yeah, all comes from an official timetable, so we're all good here. But as they've kind of said, well, they didn't say it, but the Hauptstrecke Rhein Ruhr won't offer extra services, so I guess we're not getting the 425 on timetable, but never mind. Now with the ICE, as we said, sorry, Brussels to Frankfurt was within the route. The ICE doesn't stop off them. Technically, Cologne to Aachen, that's the 2 stops. It doesn't stop in between. It's kind of like the HST running from Paddington to Reading. But we will hear about the preserve collection, exacts confirmed at launch. You know, all the extra dates of all the others. Hopefully they're going to do all the collection. We're not sure. Rumours I've heard of yes and no, depending on what ones they are, but let's just say we will find out at launch when the upcoming dates will be. What I want is Great Western Express, definitely want to be able to do that. Okay. So, going on to the scenario planner. So, will it work? So can you put preserved collection in? Yes, you can put preserved trains on preserved routes and preserved trains on new routes and vice versa. You create what train you want on which one. But there are certain stipulations and constraints that apply to this. That when you choose a platform, I don't know, London Paddington platform 1, the platform is a certain length and there's a markup on that. So it tells you how long you can have it and how long the train is. So just be aware that if the train is too short for the marker, it won't allow you to place it there. Okay, that's what they said at launch. That is what will happen. But it is A to B only. It's not A to B to A. It's A to B. It's not return journeys. But you can be creative on what you come up with. So it uses the path. So if you say I want platform 1, it will kind of go, or I want ICE or this station to this station. It will give you those platform setups, which is really, really cool. But they have preset them, so unfortunately you can't go in the wrong direction on the wrong side of the track and things like that. But there's a sensible variety on there to then provide you with different paths for the ICE, for freight, for S-Bahn, you know, that sort of thing. But they said that there's about, on a ballpark figure, 7 or 8 different platform allocations, consists with different platform allocations. But you can have AI trains in the opposite direction. You can have 30 scenarios per route that you can create, which is nice. But remember, they don't have unlimited storage with the console. They are limited. The console won't let them. So the restrictions that PlayStation and Xbox give them, they can't just fill the Xbox. They have a limitation on what they can save on there. But the scenario world is effectively empty. You have to populate it. And you can't just make trains appear and just park them up, or just some carriages or just some cars. They have to physically do something. They have to drive and finish at a route. Now, what I didn't understand was it sits there at the end, but what if they're blocking the platform? How do I get on the platform if that train is blocked there? So I'm not sure on that. I think that's a further question that we have on that. But no empty wagons and things like that. Now, we do have footage of the scenario planner, but we'll just stick some images in here where you can choose the platforms that you're going to be doing, and you can tick all those boxes of what platforms you want to stop at and what train you want to use. So there's no importing scenarios to different scenarios. Each one is its own thing. And again, the maximum train length, as we said, with the markers. But we can save our own consists, set our own paths, or well, not our own paths that are preset, but there are some extra things that people say about destination boards and auto-generating and cold starts and walking and things. No. Scenario planner literally is you get dumped in the train and you go from A to B with the stops that you have said in between. But there are lots of platforms to choose from on there. But what they've said is walk before you run. This is the first scenario of it. Could go further, but we don't know. The thing is that people may get bored of it quite quickly and it may not ever be used, but hopefully people will use it. But as they said, any train can go on any track as long as the markers are there. As you can see in this image, the clipping of that American AC 4400 on the underground, it don't look great, does it? It's fun, but that's a one-off thing. But they said that it's actually easier to have no restrictions, less time to limit what they can do to what they shouldn't do. So, unfortunately, as you can see here, New York Penn Tunnel comes to mind on the Long Island Railroad. But yeah, hopefully it won't happen with the Bakerloo. It's only when you get big engines that don't fit that you could do it. But, you know, not realistic to experiment on there, but people wanted more freedom, but normal ways are appropriate and authentic, but you can play with the game as well as have the true simulation. So as we know, we can save our scenarios up to 30 per route. Can we save it? Can we reload it? Can we edit it? Yes, but you can't share it officially. They said if you figure out how to do it in our PC, you can transfer your files. Kind of like the livery that you could do on Train Sim World 1. So yeah, it's not official, but it's there. The next Q&A is the Bakerloo line, and hopefully we'll talk about longer routes. Plenty more footage next time. Oh, and I forgot to even mention the HUD. Oh my goodness. Look at the HUD. Now, I just want to show you the HUD. I'm not going to explain the HUD because I need to have a closer look at it as well. But they said that they're going to be mentioning the HUD later on. Another Q&A. This is almost done, they said. This is not fully there because there might be some more tweaks, but that is the HUD so far. I like the look of it. I like how it's kind of all implemented in there, so you can see a little bit more data about the train, like with the doors opening, the direction and things like that. But excellent job there of what they've done with the HUD. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the recap. Sorry it's a little later than usual, but yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos from Megasim, of course. Ring the notification bell, ding, 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 ding. And Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Megasim UK. Follow us along on that. Hopefully we should have the video out later of the new screenshots when they are released. Apologies for the weird stuff going on with the video that we've got behind us. It's because I pre-recorded it a couple of days ago on the Twitch on my Xbox. So that's why I did that. Didn't have any questions really on yesterday on comments, so no shout outs, but I will say Milestone 99, you're finally seeing the video that you saw because he was watching it yesterday, or whenever I did it yesterday, the day before. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, as I said. We do have stuff going on over the next few days. We got a Saturday and Sunday video, which is cool. But yeah, what are your thoughts? What do you think of what they've mentioned in the Q&A? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's worth waiting a little bit longer for this? I would like to know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. I am totally lost in this station. I'm trying to find a train and I went on the wrong platform, and then when I finally figured it out, it had already gone, but I'm not talking about that. Anyway, see you guys soon, and this is Megasim out of here. Bye bye.